So good, so good, so good.
Just in and so good. Thousands of winter deals are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. And that means thousands of fresh reasons to rack.
Because we get the latest trends for way less.
I've been looking for these.
The best deals go fast.
Save big with up to 60% off Sam Edelman, Sorel, Free People, Kohan, and more cold weather finds. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Well, the old Twins are down 7-2 now in the fifth.
One of the worst starts of the season for Kyle Gibson. It's been pretty dang good this year. He's the wins and losses aren't there, but he's pitched pretty good.
Who's this twitchy guy pitching right now?
This is Gabriel Moya, and he's a little twitchy lefty, man. He is twitchy. Mm-hmm. And they've kind of slowed down the twitches. He was more herky-jerky last year than he was. He's the guy. Now, we traded, our boys traded Aaron Hicks, who's gone to New York and played pretty well for the most part, the center fielder, for John Ryan Murphy, the catcher. Mm-hmm. And when John Ryan proved to be a bust here, they then traded him for this twitchy little guy last year sometime. They got rid of him early last year. The Reavers, the John Ryan Murphy bonanza of early season, I think, is kind of cooled off, too,
wasn't it?
In fact,
didn't he get sent down for a stretch?
He probably did.
Yeah.
He had 8 home runs in a month or something.
But your Diamondbacks are in first place, baby.
Yes, yeah, the Rockies. The Dodgers are struggling, and they're not winning that often. Dozier's hitting for them. Dozier's playing well.
I think it'd be great if the Dodgers missed the postseason.
Well,
you got the first place A's coming in here.
Ooh, the surprise team of baseball.
Yep.
They are unbelievable. They got a bunch of guys in their rotation. They got a lefty named Brett Anderson yesterday. Pitched 7 innings, gave up 1 hit, scoreless. He's had, I would say he emerged on the scene about 12 years ago for the A's, was a good pitcher, and he's been to 8 different places, and he is hurt constantly. He's had 5 different surgeries, and now he's back and on this miracle team. They're running him out there, and he's pitching great.
They're 25 games over 500.
Yes, they started terrible.
Is that the
They're
team?
ahead of Houston.
Is that the team that's done this experimental pitching?
No, Tampa.
Who am I thinking of?
Tampa's a little over 500 with the experimental pitching. But Oakland, they have Reavers. Well, Edwin Jackson, was it his 10th team this year? I think he just set a major league record for the most teams one guy's played with. He's one of their starting pitchers. Then they got big fat Trevor Cahill, who was about 5 years ago was considered a hot prospect, and he kind of disappeared. And now he's pitching great for him too. They got all these rejects pitching for him, and they're doing it with mirrors, to say the least. And they got this Chris Davis, who basically goes up there and swings from his arse every pitch and has got 38 home runs. I think he's hit the most home runs in the major leagues in the last 4 years.
I just looked up Edwin Jackson's baseball reference page. He's on his 14th team in Major League Baseball.
14th?
And he's only 34 years old.
Really? You mean he's 14th organization, or has he played with 14 different teams?
14 different teams he's played for.
He's got to go for the record and play with all of them.
Well, he's got time. He's only 34.
Yeah, man.
He's having a pretty good year, too.
Yeah, well, he's made 10 starts for him. They called him up, they got him. They signed him because he was floating around out of desperation. They called him up, and he's pitched pretty well. He's got a 3.5 ERA or something. So, yeah, it's this is the first time the Twins have seen him all year.
So he was a rookie, called up in 2003 with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He has made $78 million.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding. You know why? A lot of that
And
was.
he didn't have to pay for his own travel either. They all flew him here and there, right?
Remember when the Cubs were in that rebuilding phase? They gave him a bunch of money. He was one of the first arms that they went out and signed. But yeah, but then they traded him 2 years after they signed him with that big contract.
What do you think of the March 28th opener at Target Field?
I was saying earlier, it must be difficult to get all these games scheduled. I get that part.
Yes.
But the starting point should be, how can we stay out of we got to stay out of north of the Mason-Dixon line. We got to get everybody we can either on the West Coast or south of the Mason-Dixon line.
I came up with a list last year. You got 14 teams that are in the West or the South.
Yeah.
And then you got Washington and Baltimore.
Right.
You can flip. You can take turns. One of those got to be home one year and the other the next year. And Washington, you want Washington at home so you can have the presidential opener, even though the president isn't going to show up. Yeah. But so you got 15 teams. The first 2 weeks you play there, or the first 10 days you play there.
Yep.
And then the next 10 days you play at the other places. Yeah. And then you just so now everybody's got 71 home games left and go get them.
Yeah.
You know. So
March 28th.
Yes.
We had 2 feet of snow here April 15th.
Yeah. Well, and we can't play the next week because the Final Four is here. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Right.
It's different ballparks.
Right.
There's no hotel rooms. Are you telling me that if the Cleveland Indians come to town, we can't get them 30 hotel rooms? It's not like millions of people are going to be flocking in to see the opening series. It's idiotic that because of the Final Four, you can't play here. And the Final Four leaves here on Monday, okay?
Yeah.
You could play on Tuesday. You could play a baseball game on Tuesday.
There's nothing wrong with a Tuesday.
Yes. And the airport will be crowded. So what? Yeah. The Cleveland Indians have a charter plane. Right. They'll come they'll zip right in here and land out at Signature or something and disembark, and everybody will be happy.
That's right.
It's so stupid.
Well, who's making this call?
Oh, the downtown Minneapolis, whatever the hell they are.
Downtown Council?
They want to clean everything out, and so our Final Four guests don't have anybody.
Got to take care of the guests.
That's so stupid, you know. But the good news is the Farmer's Almanac says it's going to be a warm winter, so we might be balmy on March 28th. Don't you hope though we get 14 feet of snow?
Yes.
Yes, you got to hope for it. Yeah, you got to hope for it.
Send them a message.
That was one of your best Super Bowl tweets, Pat, when you said, "Dear out of town media, don't worry, the foot of snow will be followed by blistering cold temperatures," or whatever you had suggested.
Don't worry. Yes. Yeah, because that's the way it works here. We get the heavy snow, and then it gets cold.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
It didn't even work that way for the Super Bowl. It was just an average couple of days.
We didn't get what we were all praying for, which was a collapsed roof.
We were all praying for.
But it's okay.
There was a blizzard on the previous Super Bowl here. There was a lot of snow.
Yes.
When Washington played Buffalo.
Yep.
Yes. But nothing would have compared though if the Major League postseason playoffs were on the same schedule they are now. In 91, we might have had an issue. With that October 31st home game, might have had to delay that one after the 31 inches of snow fell.
That would have been delayed until spring.
Yes, it would have been. We would have had to move it to Arizona.
Wonder what they would do. What they do? Let's say the Twins are in the World Series this year, and they got a home game November 1st.
Yeah,
and you get 2 feet of snow.
What are you going to do? You're going to move it.
U.S. Bank Stadium will tweet Dave St. Peter. He loves getting those questions on social media.
Yeah, you'd have to move, I suppose. I don't know, but it just proves by saying, "Oh, please, Twins, don't schedule any games while the Final Four is here." It just proves what a bunch of bleep kickers we are. We can handle a baseball game and a Final Four on the other side of town. What's the problem?
You think they would do that in Chicago?
No, they wouldn't
York?
even know.
No. Boston?
No, we're just such a bunch of crap kickers.
Rubes.
It's unbelievable.
It is.
If I was the Twins and they said, "Hey, we don't want you to play the Final Four," I'd say that's your problem. Mm-hmm. Go have a good time over there.
And would it interrupt the opener? No, the opener would even fall during that time because it would be just the weekend.
Well, my theory is, okay, you can have the whole week and you can play on Monday. You can start the season April 8th on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you're dismantling Final Four stuff at the Taj Mazzigi has nothing to do with playing a baseball game at Target Field.
Then it's not like you're going to have giant crowds then anyway for the Twins games.
You're going to have the opening crowd. Yeah, and you're going to have your opening day crowd, and then so what? Yeah. It's so stupid.
Well, you got a new thing to wish for now, the raging blizzard on March 28th.
Sure, just to prove how stupid they are. Ice.
Hey, are we going to have a TCL TV at the fair?
I don't know. We got to find out.
Because I can't watch the playoffs.
We've always had one, haven't we?
I don't think so.
Haven't we had a TV of some form?
No. Now that I think about it, no, we have not.
We did before when we had the Twins because we would
that
show
baby's hanging in my office.
Is it
right
really?
now.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the TV.
We'd put
office.
the Twins game on, then we'd have the broadcast,
and we'd leave. Remember that?
Yeah.
Speaking of TVs. Perfect segue. Royce, I almost tweeted you last night, starting, I think it's September 14th, maybe.
All right.
American Vandal, season 2.
Oh, they're bringing it back. Okay.
And this year,
yeah,
I can't remember the exact title, but it's a pooper. It's a pooper capade.
Somebody's taking a dump on other people's shoes.
A mystery man spiked the lemonade in the cafeteria. Every kid and student, every student in the school lost control of their bowel functions immediately.
That sounds like something I would not watch.
In the halls, in the rooms, on the streets, everywhere. There were no bathrooms available, and the kids were shamelessly just...
Do they have a prime suspect?
And it's a mystery guy, and evidently the guy taunts them throughout the year, and this goes on and on and on.
Well, I'll have to give it a try because the first one was hysterical. Now, I will say they used 8 episodes. They could have wrapped her up in about 4. They stretched it out.
Yeah.
But the first one last year, Joe, was, I think I've told you this.
Yeah, I don't think you need to again.
The faculties walked out, and they had penises drawn on their car, and it was an investigation to find out who.
And the obvious
suspect was a noted penis drawer.
Noted.
Yeah, he was
what a reputation.
Because in this one class, whenever the teacher left, he'd run up and draw one on the.
Yeah,
but he had an alibi.
He did have an alibi,
and he had a certain way of doing it. He would add things to the drawing,
and that was his defense. That
follicle.
I got it.
See, look at that. That's not mine.
That's not my word.
That doesn't have hair on it.
Oh my God!
It was.
What's so much for going out with class?
You know who won't watch that one with you? I discovered the last year the wife just.
Oh, she didn't have an interest, huh?
She didn't want. I said, "This is really funny."
Well, she's showing some good taste.
Yes, she did.
I tried to describe last season to my wife last night, and she looked at me in horror.
Yeah. Well, it was a put down of the making of a murderer,
right?
And
it's the same. It's the same 2 kids doing the investigation, but they have to go to a Catholic school to do it.
You know, Joe, you had mentioned.
Yeah. So it's the same 2 protagonists. Yeah.
Joe, you had mentioned going out with class. There are a few things I will miss more than when Rookie becomes so captivated by something he can't even speak. And he found another thing on the internet that's just basically consumed him.
Well, I just retweeted it at RookieGL if you want to take a look at it. But
go to Twitter.
It's very funny.
Pat's going to love
Here's the
this.
line. It's off the Bro Bible. Whoever put this sticker on a wall next to a bunch of seats at the Philadelphia airport is a complete you-know-what.
Okay.
It is a sticker of A plug?
I can't see it.
It's a sticker of an outlet, so it looks like an outlet.
It's just hacked away where the prongs are supposed to
good.
Somebody really wanted to go through that wall, and it's just ripped to shreds. But people
So it's a picture of an outlet?
Yes, and people have tried to rip off the top, but it's really stuck on there.
That's pretty good.
That's a really good.
That's pretty good.
That
people are panicked.
That is a prankster.
Yes,
That is pretty damn.
And I'd like to see the camera, the secret cam
the video.
showing the guy trying to plug in his laptop,
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I got to lay over in Philly. I got to charge up.
First of all, you got the guy wandering all over looking for one, and he finally finds one.
Yes.
Oh, here I'll
Wait,
pull up Google.
okay.
Yeah.
Stickers.
That is pretty good.
Fake electrical outlet stickers. You buy them in packages of 10.
You just put them anywhere.
Put them anywhere. And then start thinking of other things you could do as stickers. Light switches.
Sure.
Yes.
And you'd make a fortune in tchotchke shops.
The best part of these is if they're good enough. You know, if it's a light switch, somebody just go like that and could feel that it wasn't there. But with this,
They keep stabbing.
I'm surprised the plaster has.
Such, do you want a 12-pack or do you want a 25-pack on Amazon?
Done
Are
already.
you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding.
Well,
in
that,
fact,
that keeps us in line. Everything we've invented's been done.
It's like those bullet hole stickers.
Yeah.
in fact, you can get one that have the reset punch in the middle too. You can get one of those if you want.
Really?
Yep.
So there's pranksters out there.
Oh,
that,
God,
people
is that
ahead of the
funny.
game.
How much for a 25
A
pack?
25-pack will run you $36.99
Be
on
worth
Amazon.
it to bring about the hysteria, wouldn't it?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And there's one that has the little USB port in the middle, which
Yeah.
I've seen before. That has a sticker.
I
for
put
it.
one next to every hotel bed I ever slept in.
So would I. Because they're never there when you need
They're
them.
never there. They're behind the bed and under it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be brilliant.
I have, in my years of staying in cheap hotel rooms when I was on the road, man, you could have to rustle a bed and tip it over and do every damn thing trying to
Where
plug
is
in
the
your-
outlet?
Well, it's over by the table, far away from the bed, right where you don't need it.
Or when you want to work at the table, it's over by the bed underneath the stuck in there.
That's why I stay at Holiday Inn Express.
What did you leave behind on the Earthquake World
I
Series?
left when we were using the Radio Shacks.
Yep.
Remember?
Yeah.
When you went on the road with them, there was to get it into one of these, a phone outlet.
Yeah.
You needed a little
An adapter.
adapter to put on the end of it.
It's the technical
And-
corner.
and
He's
when
showing you things
And
like
when
this.
you
Wait,
would
to get
and
into
when you
one of
would-
these,
when
a
you
laptop?
when you would travel,
Yeah.
you'd always have to make sure you brought it with you if you were going to write in your hotel room.
Right.
You're talking about an adapter plug.
Yes.
Right, okay.
And
One of
I was
these.
at the Embassy Suites when I was staying at the Embassy Suites. I was at Candlestick when the earthquake struck, of course. But then that night, I went back to the Embassy Suites, which is darkened anyway. But I'd had the adapter in the. There was no electricity by now, but I'd had the adapter the day before when I was working in my room, and I left it there. And now I come home. Don't pay any attention to it. Fly back 10 days later for the start of the World Series. Look at my bag. I'm going to write something. Don't have the bleeping adapter.
Right.
And I said, wait a minute. Was I on this floor? And I moved the bed, and there's my adapter sitting in the
You were in the same room?
Same room.
Same
Wow.
room 10 days later. I said, holy cow, that is
Wow.
that is another delightful earthquake story. Success.
Sports Talk will return shortly, but now thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail and Your Money Now.
You know, that reminds me of the time I left my retainer in the bathroom at
Yeah.
the subway station.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little different ending.
You
for
didn't
that
want to
one.
find it again.
Yeah. Oh, I found it. Stocks are mixed at today's market close. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed lower for the first time in 5 sessions. The Dow dropped 88 points to 25,733. The Nasdaq Composite gained 29 points. The S&P 500 lost just 1 point. 8 restaurant chains agreed to drop the use of agreements that prevent their workers from finding higher-paying jobs at other locations of the same chain. Applebee's, Church's Chicken, Five Guys, IHOP, Jamba Juice, Little Caesars, Panera, and Sonic all agreed to end the no-poach clauses immediately at all of their locations nationwide and to stop using the language in future franchise contracts in order to avoid lawsuits over that practice. Home products maker Vornado Air is recalling about 350,000 space heaters that could pose fire and burn hazards. Vornado has received 19 reports of heaters catching fire, including one that resulted in the death of a Minnesota man last year. The recall affects Vornado's model VH101 personal electric space heaters. I'm Bruce Vail with your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much. You can go now, and
right.
we'll check traffic here. And let's start with westbound 694 because it goes bad just past 35W, runs 15 minutes over to Highway 100. If you're bouncing between the downtowns, eastbound between, pretty nice, 12 minutes. Westbound between those, seeing 14, 15 minutes. That's due to the jam that kicks in at Riverside. And northbound 35W on and off the gas, County C up to Highway 10. Our 5 Eyewitness News forecast, clear at 60 tonight, increasing.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am. I'm here to do whatever I can. Be it early morning.
Here's John Height.
Thank you, Joe. It's partly cloudy. It's 84 degrees now in Minneapolis and St. Paul.
All right, tell me about the Garver rundown. I missed this.
Well,
Mitch Garver's our catcher.
yeah.
And we got runners on first and second?
I don't know how it started.
Okay.
I just caught the tail end of it. But there's a guy on third, and a guy on second, and a guy on first. So the guy somebody must have singled with guys on first and second.
Okay.
They're all to Garver. Garver runs one guy all the way back to third, while the other guy is going to third from second, and the other guy is going from first to second.
Mm-hmm. So now he's got 2 guys on third and 1 guy on second.
He almost got to the bag, and there were 2 guys on third, but then the guy on third, the first one, ran back to second while Garver sat and stared at him, and the guy on second ran back to first while Garver sat.
He still hasn't thrown the ball.
He pumped the ball in his glove twice and just stared at them both. It looked like a cat watching mice.
Right out of the Ford Little League Park at Highland Park. Huh?
Yeah, it was
unbelievable.
It was fun.
The one guy, I can't remember who the minor league manager was telling me about when he was managing rookie ball, where they got guys on. What they end up with is a ball getting caught with a runner at home trying to get back to second and a runner at third trying to get back to first, and they both cut across the middle of the field and collided at home plate at the pitcher's mound and damn near killed each other. They were still learning the rudimentary facts of the game.
The Twins had one last night, a rundown, too. They got messed up.
Oh, yeah. That was brutal.
They picked the guy off first, and Mauer, for some reason, instead of throwing the ball, ran him all the way to second. And by then, nobody was there, and he threw the ball away. So, anyway, what's going on down there in Chicago today? The Twins are losing 7-2. We are in the top of the 7th. The Jorge Polanco homered in the first, but then Kyle Gibson gave up 3 home runs. So
that Rodon kid from the White Sox is pretty good. That lefty, he finally got his act together.
Yep. 28-year-old George Iloka has officially been signed by the Vikings. He's been a past Pro Bowl safety. He was with Mike Zimmer in Cincinnati when Zimmer was the defensive coordinator there in his first 2 years in the NFL.
Zimmy must have put the hard press on him because last week the rumor was he was heading to Oakland.
Yep. Yeah, apparently, according to reports, it came together very quickly.
Yeah, he said the Iloka said that he talked to him last night, flew in at 5:30 this morning, and practiced today.
Yep. Did you see the latest on the very stable Incognito?
Yes, yes.
Gets in a fight in the funeral home because they won't cut his old man's head off.
Jeez.
Oh, is that what it was?
He wanted his head cut off for research.
The Ted Williams thing done? Okay.
No, for research.
Yeah, I don't think Richard Racey would have done that one either.
I don't think so.
No, I think that's up to somebody else. I don't think you can put that. You can't put on that on the funeral director.
No.
With a hatchet.
My assistant will have the hatchet. He has sharpened it up because he has just chopped down a tree from which he made a dog box.
News notes from today: a Clear Lake man faces multiple
And
charges.
he cut off the head
did
of a
Richard-
serpent with it, and it was still wiggling.
What if Richard had the same voice as a little Patrick?
Eddie, come here. We're going to go ride the train. I want you
He
to...
didn't have a terribly deep voice. No.
What did he have? Was it raspy?
Yeah, it depended upon how many Martins he'd had.
Did he smoke? Was he a smoker?
No, never smoked his life.
Your mom?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Might be one reason she made it to 51.
Ooh.
Clear Lake
She
man.
didn't have lung cancer, did she?
No,
Breast cancer.
Breast
yeah.
cancer.
Clear Lake man faces multiple charges after authorities say he led police on a pursuit that ended in a fatal collision. Criminal complaint says Jason Jerome Rothmeyer faces 2 counts of criminal vehicular homicide, 1 count of fleeing a police officer, and 1 count of driving while intoxicated. All this happened back on August 10th. Police got a call about a possibly intoxicated person leaving the Becker Pebble Creek Golf Club in a vehicle. The officer was able to see a vehicle matching the description. The complaint said the officer followed the vehicle, witnessed it cross the fog line and center line, tried to stop the car, but the car took off. One point during the chase, the suspect vehicle exceeded speeds of 100 miles an hour. The complaint says the suspect vehicle then failed to stop at a stop sign, was hit by a Ford pickup. One of the occupants was ejected from the truck. After the collision, the driver of the suspect vehicle exited the vehicle, began to run. Authorities had to tackle Rothmeyer, the driver of that vehicle, according to the complaint. The occupant of the Ford pickup who was ejected was transported to North Memorial but pronounced dead the next day. 18-year-old medical examiner, Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office identified the man as 18-year-old Kyle Scott Foley.
This DFL nominee for Congress up there in the Iron Range district is not a very good driver, apparently. He's did you see that?
I have
that
not.
campaign ad against him. He's had several traffic violations of all forms. I don't think he's had any DWIs, but he's a bit of a careless
Maybe
driver.
he's just a bad driver.
Yeah, and doesn't pay attention to parking regulations, apparently.
I need to change the subject. Something's weighing on my mind. I've known writers, I've heard of writers who, when they're not churning out copy, they just write, like, say, journals where they just keep the craft honed and do that.
Yeah, right.
Well, Royce just gave me the bird, so that pretty much kills my next question. Because I have been on you for as long as I've known you to start writing this crap down.
I was ahead of you by 10 years.
Start writing this down, and you always come up with a cruddy, flimsy, rotten excuse. The people are still alive, or this or that or the other.
I don't have my adapter.
Royce, you've got nothing but time. You've got no excuse. You've already
Especially now.
You've written all the Sid obits you'll ever need to write. Would you, for God's sake, sit down and start writing this stuff?
I have never written anything for my own entertainment in my life.
Well, it's a Gene Shepard story to tell the story about the old man pretending to get shot out of the train.
I mean, you've got a couple of books there, and they're all funny and enjoyable.
And they'll all make about $15.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
10 people in Fulda will buy
Did you
it.
read the story yesterday about the youth of America? If you ask them to read a book,
Right,
they run out of the room. They're
true.
terrified.
Sold more than the Beatles in Zimbabwe.
All right. I'll give up on that one then. I'm sorry.
Minneapolis and St.
That
Paul.
was a healthy finger you received, though, Kenny.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah.
The journal. No, it's just somebody I used to work with in St. Paul was always journaling
Well,
instead of writing.
actually, the person I'm thinking about is Hunter Thompson, because he never stopped writing. If it was letters or whatever, he just, even if he didn't sell it, he was always writing.
Many
Well,
of
maybe
them,
all I need is a little LSD.
many
Then
of
I
them
can go do it.
incoherent.
Or a lot of LSD.
Minneapolis and St. Paul parks have some of the best amenities in the country, according to the Trust for Public Land. The California-based nonprofit has named Minneapolis and St. Paul the top 2 park systems in the nation. Today, the Trust released a breakdown of the component parts that went into those honors. Both cities won 8 top 10 rankings in a survey that breaks down the component parks. Minneapolis has more ice rinks, golf courses, recreation, and senior centers. St. Paul has more baseball diamonds, community gardens, restrooms, and pickleball courts and trail miles.
Well, hell, we got an animal rights control supervisor who thinks the parks are the reason the coyotes took a vote and chose to live here.
Apparently, the Trust for Public Land agrees with the coyotes.
Yeah. Our parks are so nice, we have embraced our wildlife. They love it. There was a convention in Vegas, and there was a booth operated by St. Paul, and the coyote said, you know what, St. Paul's making a hell of an offer. God almighty.
The report part of the Trust initiative.
Honest to God. And then these academics, these geniuses at Hamlin, I'm sounding like Sid, these geniuses, these ecology professors say, well, Souchere doesn't really understand the complexity of what this contributes to an overall ecological experience.
Did you get a letter on that?
Yeah, oh, Christ. Oh, God help me. That's who you want for your animal rights control or your animal control supervisor. You want somebody who's welcoming wildlife.
Just don't leave the baby alone.
Just don't leave the kid outside.
Kid for 6 seconds.
But you notice how they change their tune when it's a bear. Then the bear always ends up dead.
Mm-hmm. Bear's been as close as the church at St. Agnes, damn near in the choir loft.
I don't understand why we just can't leave the bears alone. The bear wanders into town. The next thing you know, the bear's shipped out in the back of a truck, dead as a doornail.
Most recently, just at Lord Fletcher's.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Still, one of my favorite all-time sports talk stories was when Mike Woodley called us in. Mike Woodley had been hired in Duluth as a sports anchor.
Sure.
Making about $12,000 a year up there. And Woodley, they had one year where the Bears all came down the hill because they were not getting the proper nutrition. So they were down in the spring eating fruit, in the fall eating fruit off the trees. And Woodley looked outside and saw a bear, and he was like hiding under his bed. And he was, thought it was going to come in and get him. And he heard all this laughter outside. And he looked out, and there was a bunch of little kids throwing apples at the bear. The bear was up in the tree, and all these Duluth kids were throwing apples at him.
John?
Yes.
Just calling it like we see it.
Anyone who doesn't like that is a big sissy.
1500 ESPN.
Whether
Hey, John.
Hey, yes.
I didn't know you played PXG clubs.
Yeah.
And what do they do for your game? What have you found that they added to your game?
Made it much longer.
You hit it much further?
Well, your wife talks about your short game all the time.
Did it take any? Did it improve your score at all?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, you shaved a couple of strokes off your
maybe more.
Scorecard.
Pat, what I've discovered with those ads is that they are the preferred model for the Latin American tour.
Oh, really?
I did not know that.
Too. Korea, remember?
Too.
Korean
Right.
also.
That's right.
Yes.
Well,
That's
if
true.
those Korean chicks who are coming over here and winning all the money are playing PXG,
That's right.
That's a pretty good sponsorship right there.
And speaking of foreigners, what's with you in this movie, Royce?
Speaking of foreigners.
Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be great. I love movies they're filled with stereotypes because stereotypes are true.
It seems over the top racist to me.
That book is sitting in our
everybody
house.
loves it, including the Asians.
I had my oldest son went and saw it with his girlfriend, and they thought it was hilarious.
Was it a novel? Is it fiction?
It's a Mary. Mary was just telling me it's a trilogy. There's 3 of them, and this is as successful as this movie was. There's obviously going to be 2 more movies. It's about a rich kid trying to find a bride.
And the bride meets him, doesn't know that they're filthy rich like this.
Are they
and just a different life?
Are they here or there or where is this?
Singapore, I think it's located.
Oh,
right.
I have not seen it, so I don't
Singapore.
know. Huh? But I know it's. I heard it's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
A Massachusetts golf course.
I'm willing to call anything racist at this point in time. It's just anything like that. Autumn. That's the first thing I think right away. Oh, racist. Not touching it.
That's because the word doesn't mean anything anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Massachusetts golf course shared video of a golfer's ball being stolen from the green by a fox.
Oh, yeah. That's happened.
I've seen that happen. You can get them.
I've seen that happen.
They're sly, John.
There was a famous fox. This is true at Minneapolis Golf Club that one of those par threes along the road there that would regularly amble out there and grab the golf ball.
What does the fox say?
On the video, the ball comes to a rest near the hole.
How did you have that ready, you moron?
I had it ready at the last story when they were doing
We haven't heard that in like 8 years, and you got to that clip faster than anything you've ever done in your life.
You know why? Because I wanted to. Mm-hmm. Right? Remember earlier in the show on Garage Logic, Joe accused the staff of either not, they didn't do this because either they can't or they don't want to. And I took offense to that, and I said, I can do it.
Yeah,
I can do it. It's just that I won't. So, let's be clear.
That was kind of like me coming in an hour late one day last week.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to.
Right. I can.
Yeah,
I just won't.
I just won't.
Right.
I won't look that up for you.
I'm not going to prop
I know
you up.
how.
Right. I can do it. I just won't.
A Louisville man.
I'm still reveling in Don Shelby's praise.
Yeah, I missed that broadcast, Such.
I did too, but I heard Don was very gracious.
He was really good.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I had a dentist appointment or something. I don't know what it was. Oil change. I don't know.
A Louisville man has been arrested after police say he stole
Oil change.
I don't know, something like
Something
that.
like that.
Haircut. I don't know.
So he stole several items, including 99 packs of Pokemon cards from the Family Dollar store. According to an arrest report, happened at the Family Dollar on Arcade Avenue just after 1 p.m. Police got a
Didn't
report.
steal any of sardines or anything. No, right?
Just wait. Police received a report a white male in a red shirt had been shoplifting at the store. When they got there, they found 33-year-old Michael LaRocco walking away from the store carrying several items of merchandise in his hands. When police confronted him, he admitted he had already planned on taking merchandise from the store, but when an employee, in his words, antagonized him about it, he decided to take more, telling police he was doing it out of spite because he didn't like
he was
the way
already.
she was
He got
treating him.
confronted about stealing, so he stole more.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
In for a penny, in for a pound, baby.
I like this guy.
police say LaRocco stole 99 packs of Pokemon cards, a pair of shoes and socks, and some chopped ham that he had stuffed down his underwear.
There you go. Who doesn't like a little chopped ham?
Dollar
That's
store
where you
ham.
got the sardines, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the oysters
Is
fresh
that why
out of
you
the
bought the
Gulf.
steaks?
They were out of steaks the day that because must have been a run on them because I've been doing those ads for them. But when I bought them originally, they were just
No,
they
but
were not
when
good.
we were out doing
At the Sprint store.
Sprint store.
Remember, I basically provided you with a luxury dollar store
Wonderful
meal.
stuff.
Yes.
In-
And prepare for this.
I
for the sake of
promised
the
to eat
game.
the sardines, but once they were opened, I had
You lost your
proved
nerves.
myself to be a liar.
For the sake of the game, I'm going to go after these sardines, open them up. And then he said, do not drop these in any trash inside the store.
No,
Get
he
out.
threw them away in the parking lot across the
Go
street.
outside,
Fresh out of the Gulf.
but save the mustard.
In total, police say LaRocco took merchandise valued at over $120.
So he basically carried all he could carry, and it was $120.
That would be half
Yep.
the inventory of the store.
He was walking like little, like Randy in the Christmas story. He couldn't move his
I
legs.
was thinking about this. 99 packs of cards, they're probably $1 a piece. So that's $99 right there.
How come nobody at the store just took care of this guy? We now live in a society where you can't confront and tackle them and take them down.
And why 99 packs?
Yeah, that's, I suppose he just
all
grabbed
they
a
had,
bunch. A man in China.
I'd be tempted to tackle the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, take matters into your own hands.
Yeah, but then you'd be covered in chopped ham.
He could bite you. Could bite you and get back life-threatening bacteria too. Remember the Saddler, the shoe man?
Yep.
He chased you down the street one day. My old buddy from St. Mary's. He was in the back. Some guy came in and tried to get into his till in the shoe store. Saddler came out and punched him.
Yep.
Damn near died because he hit him in the mouth and he got the bacteria off his
Really?
teeth. Yeah, he damn near died.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Why did he chase Joe?
Because I tried to give him back the maroon and gold boat shoes that he sold me.
And he chased you
Yeah,
out
he
of there?
chased me down the Skyway system.
He and I went through treatment together.
He didn't get over it.
He's left from this veil of tears, so I could say he was dark star. Yeah, he was nuts, but he was a great goofy guy. But as someone said to him in AA, you know, Bob, some people get well and others just quit drinking.
He was of the latter.
Yes.
And a Maryland woman is on a lottery winning streak after collecting 3 prizes in under a month. 49-year-old Felicia Wade bet.
There's something going on here, John. I don't trust it.
Cheater.
She placed a superfecta box bet of 10 cents on a virtual horse racing game on August 17th and won over 11 grand.
No.
She played again 2 days later, collected 2 grand. Then she played the pick 4 combinations using the numbers 1017 about a week after that and won $60,000.
I want an investigation.
Yeah. No, she'd get kicked out of Vegas if that happened.
There's somebody
you.
she's taking care of somebody.
Very shifty.
All right, everybody, see you at the fair.
Hey, as the mayor scurried out of here today,
Ooh, wait a minute.
he added a new quality. Golf shoes. He already had his golf shoes on as he left. He was going to make the light with golf shoes
I
today.
told him, you dummy, golf shoes are not going to improve your game or take
Well, you
anything
got to
away.
have golf shoes. You got to play with golf shoes.
Really?
Yeah, you slip around a little bit. That's right.
Well,
Unless, of course, you get yourself some PKGs, then
you're going to go long on that
that's
game.
right.
Your
Yeah.
short game's going to get better.
We know what it's already. We already know what it's done for Height's game. What could it do for you and I?
I've seen
baby?
him play.
You and I are going to have some time to play golf. We're going to have to go out and make a mess of a few golf courses.
Will you buy me 4 sleeves of
Wild.
golf balls at the Wild?
Like I did at the Wild.
Like you did, and I promptly put them all into the drink. Why don't you use a used one at
I
this
liked
hole?
playing with you. It made me feel good. We'll be back.
1500 ESPN. I'm always there for the entertainment. Is KSTP St. Paul, Minneapolis. The ride, the pre-State Fair ride, is next.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring. After 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability, Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.